That one tweaking.
That's live.
Live. Oh, there you go.
There we go.
All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
We're the brothers from the GMS Cleveland camp, coming back through the spirit and power of the Heavenly Father Yahweh, in the name of His only begotten Son Yahweh Shai. And before we get started, we're gonna give all praise, honor, and glory to
Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash.
We're gonna give double honor to our apostles and our elders, the great millstone, who still rule and teach well, who taught us 100% truth according to the measure of the Holy Spirit. Excuse me, peace, blessing, and safety to the Lord's elect. And as y'all can see, the title is going into the current events right now that's on the table. There's many other things that we could have went into. You know, I was talking to the brothers, like, so much going on right now. And the brother could get the end of all things is at hand. There's so many things going on right now that we could have titled this a whole other set of topics, you know, because you had the No Kings protest. You had, which that falls into the civil unrest. That's actually going into the title of our video. You got so-called Negroes and Latinos, West Indies, Haitians, Israelites being deported. Only you being deported, by the way. No East Indian immigrants, no Arab immigrants being deported. But the main thing right now that people are anticipating is within the next 2 weeks, if the government shutdown continues, within 2 weeks, the SNAP benefits, which a lot of you Americans, 42 million Americans, it's probably more than that, rely heavily upon, man. Okay? And we told you to stop trusting in the system. Okay? The Lord said, use the world and not abuse it. Because a lot of y'all have been abusing it. You see? And these Republicans, Donald Trump and his motley crew, they recognize that you've been abusing the system and they sick and tired of that shit, man. They don't want that in their budget no more. And it's the reason why the government is shut down is because they cannot agree upon a budget. Okay? Because they don't want to feed you niggas anymore. See, the silver spoon is being taken away. Okay? And somebody hold, Mike, can you look up the term silver spoon? Because that's what people have been under here in America. I tell you in Jeremiah, the 2nd chapter, is Israel a servant? Is he a homeborn slave? Why is he spoiled, man? You good with being a homeborn slave and being spoon-fed everything from your master's hand. But the Lord ain't with that. You see? And the Lord said in Hosea, the 3rd chapter, you knew not that I gave you corn and wine and oil. Okay? And it wasn't your lovers, but it was the Lord. You see? But now all that's about to be taken away from you because what the so-called white man wants to do is bring society to its knees so that it can bring in the MOTB, man. All roads is leading to the MOTB, which beginning with our apostles and elders, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shai, they've been prophesying this thing for decades, man. And now you're gonna know that a prophet have been among you. Which precept I call?
Peter.
Yeah,
1 Peter 4:7. But the end of all things is at hand. Be ye therefore sober and watch on to prayer.
Right. So we watching. We see everything that's going on. That's how we know. Like I said, there's so many things going on. You can recognize that you at the end. You know. And to get that other one real quick.
What the I forgot what you said. Slack it.
Abuse the world
Not abuse
and
it.
not abuse the world. If you know where it is, I think it's. I might have to search it because that's what people have been doing, and we're gonna get the article right after that to prove what we're saying about the potential of your SNAP benefits not being there. Let's say you got 5 children, 4 or 5 children, you get $600-700 a month on EBT, and that's not there. What are you gonna do? You're gonna have to decide between food and rent. You know, you gonna have to decide between rent and food. You know, you gonna either go homeless or you gonna go hungry. See what I'm saying? This is, and we know that hunger, homelessness, that drives crime up through the roof, man. That's what drives crime the most is a lack of opportunities. That's what Jake always talk about. You know, a lack of opportunities is why I'm in prison, or that's why I was out there robbing, or that's why I was out there selling. That nigga Biggie said, I was just trying to make some money to feed my family. It was all a dream in the intro. Yeah. He was like, people used to call the police on me when I was just trying to make some money to feed my family. Why? Because it wasn't different opportunities that would allow him to sufficiently take care of his family. So now, the so-called white man, he made you dependent on him. But now that the dependency, you got comfortable in your dependency, he's gonna take away everything that he was giving you. It's like somebody pulling a rug from up under you, man. Or in elementary school, when people would sit down, you would pull the chair back and they'll fall on the ground. That was embarrassing. You see, but this is bigger than embarrassment, man. This is life or death that's about to take place right now in America, man. Y'all got it.
This is 1 Corinthians chapter 7 and verse 31. And they that use this world and not abusing it, for the fashion of this world passeth away.
That's a heavy precept, man. Because we're not saying there's anything wrong with getting EBT or getting this program or getting this assistance. Use it. Use the world. Use the world for what it's worth. But you don't put your trust in it. Yeah. You don't basically live off of that shit for 5 and 6 years. You've been on Section 8 for 6-7 years. You generational Section 8. You know, my grandma had Section 8. My mom had Section 8. I got Section 8. Then your son, the one video was on Instagram.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah, he was trying to get a job, I think.
Yeah.
And his mother was
he turned 18 or something.
Yeah,
16.
Yeah, he tried to get the job. And his mother was like, she was real adamant on him not getting one because if he stay in that house and working, somebody's bringing income in the house. So they will remove the benefit from him. You see what I'm saying? That go on in a lot of Jake neighborhoods, man.
Yep.
You know, the nigga woman is living off the government, man.
Right.
But guess what? It says they shall lament for the teats, man.
I got it right
A
here.
lot of you women about to be in a pitiful case, man. All right, and hey, your children too. It's not just the woman, children too, man.
Yeah, then they gonna turn around and say ain't no good black men out here. But look at how you raising them, man. You raising them to rely on EBT and SNAP instead of going and get a job. You discouraging him from doing what a man's supposed to do, man. You know, so a lot of people have been abusing. Read that one more time, 1 Corinthians 7.
This is 1 Corinthians 7 and 31. And they that use this world as not abusing it.
But people have been abusing it.
For the fashion.
And then go on social media bragging about it.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that pissed Trump off to the point where he want to do away with the shit.
Right.
That made me think about this one Eve. She was real big Shirley type, had about 4 or 5 children, and she was showing how much she was getting in food stamps, and all the food she bought was garbage, man. Big ass bags of Cheetos,
popsicles,
12 packs of pops and shit, frozen chicken, frozen pepperoni pizzas, big fucking boxes of cereal, 3-4 gallons of milk. You talking about? I can't afford that, man. And I work.
I think I know what video was talking about. She was talking about it was a 2,000. She's like, this is a $2,000 EBT haul or some shit.
Yeah.
Look what I get. So you got $2,000 of EBT, man. What's that? $400 a kid? Is them fat kids? Like how much money do you need to feed these little niggas, man? You know, hey, you gonna go back to that big bag of rice, that 17-pound bag of rice for $20. That's what niggas about to start investing their money in, man. So you're gonna have to be more strategic with your bread, man. You're not just gonna be spending all willy-nilly, okay? Because as a fact, you get that Isaiah 32.
I'm holding it.
Next, first read the headline real quick, and then we're gonna just let the precepts roll.
It says, millions of Americans are at risk of losing food stamps next month amid shutdown. Roughly 42 million people are at risk of losing critical food assistance in November amid the federal government shutdown, and it's not clear whether the Trump administration will step in to find the funds to continue paying benefits as it has with other priorities.
So you had to ask yourself, are you a priority? You know, are you is feeding? He's already called you ungrateful. You know, you're the problem, and all of the different comments that he made about our people. Do you think that he's gonna deem you a priority to find the funds to feed 42 million motherfuckers who don't want to fill out like after COVID? Motherfuckers didn't want to go back to work. You know what I'm saying? They just. I'm gonna stay on whatever, I forget what it was called, but they gonna stay on that assistance. You know, instead of going back to work, they could have easily went back to work, but they decided to stay at home. You know.
Yeah, well, America raises, you know, it's a bum society.
Spoiled individuals.
Yeah, you know, spoiled individuals. They have no ambition. You know, Trump tired. We tired of you niggas too, man. Like
Right.
Jake just. I don't got no problem with Jake abusing the system. We supposed to. We're not supposed we supposed to use the system. But like you running and relying on the government too much is really not a good thing, man.
Yeah, Jake could be a nigga with this shit. A
Yeah.
nigga, he'll flex on you. He got rims on his shit.
I was
he
just thinking
he got
that,
a gold chain. He like, nigga, you broke. But then you be like, nigga, I pay real bills in my house. I bet you do got an extra $1,000 a month. You ain't paying no bills.
Well, see, also that's why the scriptures talk about leaning your hand on the staff of Egypt. You know what I'm saying? Eventually, that pressure is gonna pierce through. You know what I'm saying? So this is going to be the end all, be all for those that trust in the system, man.
Mm-hmm. I got that domino effect.
Kind of. First read Isaiah 32, and then we're gonna get that.
This is Isaiah chapter 32 and verse 11. Tremble, ye women that are at ease. Be troubled, ye careless ones. Strip you and make you bare, and gird up sackcloth upon your loins.
Yeah, well, because the majority of women are on EBT, okay? Because you got single parent households, and it's mainly headed by women, okay? And they're the ones that know how to finagle the system anyway. They're the ones that the system promotes to the most. The system don't really, like Pastor Gabar, he always give his testimony about how he went to one of them offices.
Yep.
And the lady told the lady, like, he made a comment like, this stuff is just set up for women. She kind of whispered like, yeah, you're right. You're right. This is only set up for women, because that's what it is. Because just like the serpent beguiled Eve in the garden, that's the same thing that the so-called white man did to the black and Latino and Native American woman in this society. He used her, he abused her through overmuch liberty, and now he about to dump her to the side, leave her for dead, And the Lord is gonna set things back in order through Jacob's trouble. The prophets gonna get their honor. You're gonna know that a prophet have been among you. Women gonna go back to their rightful place under the man. Okay, and the Lord's gonna deliver the Israelites.
And because ultimately, civil unrest is gonna show. You know what I'm saying? Where ultimately where a woman's place is gonna be. That's why the scripture talks about making a man more precious than fine gold. Talk about the golden wedge of Ophir, things like that. You know what I'm saying? So ultimately, a man is going to be that protection from that destroying wind. You know what I'm saying? And then the plagues that's going to come with it, man.
She either gonna be in that kitchen or she gonna be chained up in somebody's basement.
Yeah, exactly.
Or both.
Yeah, that's true. The Lord about to bring back. He was about to bring back, like you said, civil unrest. I was just watching the movie Civil War again last night. In the midst of all the chaos, what was they doing? Rationing food and water, man. So it's about to get so bad out here that you Jake's gonna have to. The scriptures literally tell you that you're gonna have to measure your
Ezekiel 4. I'm holding that too.
You got it?
Yeah, read that one real quick. Read that. Yeah.
This is Ezekiel chapter 4 and verse 10.
No, go to 16.
Ezekiel 4:16. Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, behold, I will break the staff of the bread in Jerusalem, and they shall eat bread by weight.
Yeah, the staff is talking about what? The storehouses. What else? Pretty much the agricultural department of America is being broken down, man. These farmers, they going bankrupt. Okay, the land is being seized. Okay, the crops is being destroyed, the livestock. This has been going on since 2020 when they brought the Jews, the V out, man, the pandemic, man.
Bill Gates buying up all the farmland.
Yeah, all these out of nowhere, all these farms and these plants been catching fire. Yeah, it's an attack on eggs, shit like that, bro.
Yeah, but don't forget too. Some years ago, they were euthanizing.
Everything.
Everything. You know what I'm saying? This is a agricultural, cleansing, man.
It's a man-made family.
Yeah, because if I could add, a staff is something that you lean upon for support. So that's like people's reliance on the, like y'all said, the food, the way that the food system is set up, the logistics and everything. People are so heavily reliant on that because you don't have a garden. You don't know what to plant in what season. You don't know how many inches under the ground to plant them, man. How many inches apart to plant them. You don't know nothing about nothing, man. You don't know how to graft anything in. You don't know how to do nothing regarding agriculture. You don't know how to look at a leaf and say, well, this need more water, less water,
more sun,
or more sun. You know what I'm saying? You just lost in the sauce. All you know is what's on sale.
Yeah.
The flowers in aisle 9.
The next kick.
The cereal is in aisle 2. You know what I'm saying? And that's not gonna benefit you because that's actually making you a slave, man. But the Heavenly Father wants you to be a sovereign. Okay? Go ahead.
And it's no coincidence that I don't want to say the word, but the FDA, you know, the food and the D is lumped together.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's all conspiracy. You know.
Right.
You got that.
Ezekiel 4:16. Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, behold, I will break the staff of the bread in Jerusalem, and they shall eat bread by weight and with care, and they shall drink water by measure and with astonishment.
Right.
It's gonna get bad out here to the point where you gotta you gonna put yourself on the diet. You see what I'm saying? You gonna because you niggas don't practice that. You don't practice what is that called?
Fasting.
Yeah, intermittent fasting, bro. You know, like
Jake gotta eat all day.
Yeah.
But this is why it says in Ezekiel what's that 39 about the people that dwell carelessly. You know what I'm saying, in the land of unwalled villages, in that same scripture. You know, that's that because why? Because ultimately the ways of Esau's system dumbs down the mind of the Israelites, man. Because we have a godly we had a godly mindset. But now the assimilation in Esau's system has, really dumbed us down to the basis of the level of the basis of men, man. Yep. You know,
and see, you already under that curse of eating your things by measuring and weight, because when you go to the grocery store, everything got a weight on it. You know what I'm saying? And you purchasing, you might purchase a gallon of milk. That's a weight measurement.
It looks like it. I was watching this video, right? So this bitch, she went to the grocery store, and then you know how they got in the fruit section, they got the little scale and shit. You got to weigh it. Right. She was, it was just wise. It's a wise idea. Peel up the banana and shit, and then put it on the scale. That's wise. You know what I'm saying? But that's what they gonna do to try to save money and shit, bro. Measure by weight, man.
Well, I give y'all the finesse. You go to Whole Foods.
Don't give it no camera, bro.
You can't arrest me for this. You go to Whole Foods, right? You get you a seeded watermelon, right? When you get to the checkout, you push seedless watermelon. It's always gonna be cheaper. It's gonna be about $10 cheaper.
That's how you got to do in this man's system.
Hey,
man.
Use the world.
That bitch kept running out with
it. Because what does Jacob mean? Yaquab means supplanter, man. You have to supplant in Babylon the Great, man, or else you're gonna be consumed, man. You know, because 2/3 ain't willing to supplant. They're willing to fall in line and to go along and get along, and everybody moving one way. But what happened in the movie Matrix? Neo and Morpheus, because I watch all the intricate detail of the movies. They was walking, everybody else was walking one way, and them two was the only ones that was walking against, everybody, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's what the elect are gonna do,
Two from a city. This is Isaiah 32:12. They shall lament for the teats.
Did you read 9 and 10?
I started it. Yeah, I started that.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, they shall lament for the teats, for the pleasant fields, for the fruitful vine.
Right. So you're gonna be reminiscing, crying, thinking about the days when you had the EBT and you had the WIC and you had these different government assistance. You was basically being spoon fed everything because you wouldn't have never made it without Big Daddy government or without a man. But see, you women, you've been taught that, you didn't need a man. That's why that chapter is going into Babylon the Great, okay? Which is a feminist society, man. Yep. And see, it's going to be all bad for Babylon, and it's going to be all bad for the women in Babylon, okay? They say you're going to lament for the teats, okay? And the teats is going to the breast, right? Yep. Because just like in 70 AD, our Lord, he said, woe unto you that are with child. It's going to be bad for you women that have children, man. You could read the history about women putting their babies in the oven, man. Coming to an agreement that we're gonna eat my son today and we're gonna eat your son tomorrow. And then the next day come and they out. You know what I'm saying? They slipping out the back door. You know what I'm saying? she have hid her son. You know, and then she went to the king. King said, what's wrong with you? Matter of fact, get that real quick. 2 Kings 6 and 20 something.
And they ain't gonna see no problem with it anyway. You see what I'm saying?
No, hell no.
Your modern day fast food already got, you know.
Bro, a lot of women get pregnant just for the financial benefits. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole profession of getting pregnant by some athlete or somebody who got money. That's why if you ask women nowadays, what do you look for in a man? First thing they're gonna say, money. He gotta have money.
Yeah.
He gotta have money. Why? Because she know that if it don't work out, or if she don't want it to work out, all she gotta do is leave him, go down to that office, and now she got a $2,000 check every time he get paid. She getting paid too.
That shit is over though. You know?
Yeah, Trump. I think Trump gonna come for that next.
He did. I think it was in North Carolina or South Carolina. He basically did it to where if you get a divorce, the child 50-50 split, and they said that the divorce rate went down 75% once they did that.
You see, so everything that women do is financially motivated,
Yeah.
man. It don't got nothing to do with the family. It don't got nothing. It's all about feelings and all this. Which really feelings is what can you do to make me happy? What can you do to benefit me? You know what I'm saying? How can I get ahead of you? That's all. And the Lord is tired of this shit, man. Okay, so that's why the hell's about to be brought upon the women and the men of our nation, man. Okay, but the women gonna feel it more. Okay, because you're the weaker vessel. Now, where we at?
That first 2 Kings.
Yeah, come on.
This is 2 Kings chapter 6 and verse 25. It says, and there was a great famine in Samaria, and behold, they besieged it, until an ass's head was sold for 80 pieces of silver, and the fourth part of a cab of dove's dung for 5 pieces of silver.
So they said they besieged it. What do it mean to besiege something? It means nothing coming in, nothing going out. Okay? So first of all, ain't no snap coming in. You know what I'm saying? And then we was talking about how the different manufacturing facilities and the farmland is being depleted. All of these things is a besieging that's taking place, man. You being besieged now. Okay?
Yep.
You know, even these different laws that Esau has put in place, that's a part of your besieging. You know, that, you can't have this type of seed, and if you want to grow this amount of food, you have to have a license and this and that. That's all a part of your besieging. If you're in the inner city, you can't have chickens. You can't. You would say
a cistern.
Yeah, you can't have a cistern. You can't collect water. That's all part of the besieging and making you dependent and leading you to a famine, man. Okay. You can't. Let's cut down all the trees that bear fruit. Only elm trees and pine trees and all these fruitless trees everywhere in the neighborhood. But you looking for an apple tree or a pear tree, they far and few in between, man. Okay? So the besieging of the food supply is going to lead to hyperinflation. Read that again.
If I could say too, because Yahweh said that the enemy shall cast a trench about thee. You know what I'm saying? In 70 AD. You know what I mean? And now, we're living what's been is now. You know what I'm saying? So now it's coming back into fortune again.
Right.
You said read that part again.
Yeah, come on.
This is 2 Kings chapter 6 and verse 25. It says, and there was a great famine in Samaria, and behold, they besieged it, until an ass's head was sold for 80 pieces of silver, and the fourth part of a cab of dove's dung for 5 pieces of silver.
The ass's head, a donkey head, my nigga. This ain't no thigh, chicken thigh,
turkey leg.
That's like a dog head, a donkey head. You might as well get a dog head and sell it for 80 pieces of silver, man.
What's that? That's $4 grand right now. Silver $30 an ounce.
So a donkey head for $4,000. Okay, that's that hyperinflation, man, and it talks about that in Revelation, the 6th chapter. Okay. So it's a domino effect. Okay, matter of fact, you can read it now and break it down, because the snap could cause that domino effect that we're looking for prophecies to be fulfilled, because the famine leads to the civil unrest, which leads to the martial law, which leads to the MOTB, okay, which leads to our deliverance, man, and America being destroyed. Okay, It tells you in the 2nd Ezra 9th chapter to measure thou the time diligently. Okay, so we got everything on a measurement, on a root, and the ruler is the scriptures.
Yep.
You got it.
It says a domino effect is a chain reaction where one event triggers a series of related subsequent events.
Right. That's why Howard Shai, he compared it to birth pains or contractions. You know, because as you get closer to the birth, they come more frequently, and it's almost like a chain reaction. First, the water break. You know, well, first you got the contractions, and then the contractions get more and more frequent, and that's how you know when the water is about to break. Then the water break, and then it's like, oh shit, you know, it's any second now from there, you know.
It says this phenomenon can occur in many contexts, such as in politics, finance, or personal habits, where an initial action or event leads to a cascade of sequences.
Like
it says,
that's that snowball rolling downhill. Yeah, that's like it, bro.
2nd Ezra 15. All right. It talks about breaking and entering for the lack of bread. 2nd Ezra 6. Talk about friends shall fight against one each other like enemies. You know, the Heavenly Father. Hey man, it's coming in the wintertime, bro. You see what I'm saying? The farmers already said months ago, according to the constellation, like the scriptures say, it determines whether it's going to be a good harvest or bad. They said this winter is going to be a horrible winter, man. So on top of that, you know, it's just, we need deliverance, man. All right, we need protection from Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah.
Yep, come. So that domino effect. You can keep going and say King.
Got it. 2 Kings chapter 6 and verse 26. It says, and as the king of Israel was passing by upon the wall, there cried a woman unto him, saying, help my lord, O king. And he said, if the Lord Yahweh do not help thee, when shall I help thee? Out of the barn floor or out of the winepress?
Yeah, so that's gonna be Trump's attitude. Look, I can't help you. You know what I'm saying? And that king, he said, if the Lord don't help you, what can I do? If the Lord ain't feeding you, what can I do? You know, like the Lord fed Elijah. You know, but the Lord wasn't feeding everybody then. That's why that woman, she had made that deal with the woman to eat they sons, man. Because cannibalism is coming back to the planet Earth.
And it's like,
go ahead.
It's a curse for our iniquity. See, you people don't understand that Yahweh Bashim Shah uses all things he's created to make you resourceful or in a good situation, and he could use it to judge you. Imagine using something as cannibalism as a judgment tool for all your greedy ass ways, for being a nigger woman, okay, for lying to in the system and getting more than you really need, stepping out on your man, being a cop carouseler, all right? Yahweh Bashir Shah is going to use the fruits of your doings as your judgment, all right? And cannibalism is in Deuteronomy chapter 28. It's in Leviticus chapter 26. It was a part of the curses. See, if you'd read that, you will understand the power of Yahweh Bashim Shah and what he's willing to do in order to correct you. All right? And that's a very a horrible act, but it's coming back in a major way.
Yeah, that's the worst way to die. Really,
Bruh.
You know what I'm saying? Because, well, I say starvation. I'm thinking about starvation being the worst way to die. But that cannibalism, people going to do that to avoid the starvation.
Yeah.
You know, that's what's going to drive them to do those heinous things, you know. And 2nd Ezra 16th chapter, it mentions, if you go like to about verse 50, let me see. In a minute, my sword.
You want me to finish this out?
Yeah,
come. 2 Kings chapter 6 and verse 28. It says, and the king said unto her, what aileth thee? And she answered, this woman said unto me, give thy son, that we may eat him today, and we will eat my son tomorrow. So we boiled my son and did eat him. And I said unto her, on the next day, give thy son, that we may eat him. And she hath hid her son. You see, so that's what's going to be happening, man, in these last days, man. All right, you're going to have people blatantly lying, You know what I'm saying? To try to stay ahead, to try to get what they need real quick. All right, it's gonna be all out. You ain't gonna know who to trust, man. All right, this is why you got to operate in the spirit, man. Okay, because you even gonna have some brothers may turn their back on you, man, because shit may be hitting them to the point where they gonna give up, man. You know, because why? Because in Mark the 4th chapter it tells you that when affliction arises for the Lord's sake, you know what I'm saying, they I forgot exactly how it went, but they basically gave up. What you say?
By and by they are offended.
Yeah, they are offended. Yep, exactly.
You know, those were false brethren. You know, because the elect, they're not gonna fold no matter what.
Got
it. And it lists famine. Romans the 8th chapter. It lists famine as some of the things that we're gonna overcome through our Lord and Savior Yahushua. And the brother found that precept.
This is the book of 2nd Ezra 15 and verse 57. Thy children shall die of hunger, and thou shalt fall through the sword.
And the sword being a martial law truce, man. Because Esau is going to lock down the cities. And we're going to get 2nd Ezra 15 and 14 too, up in that chapter. Because we know 2nd Ezra is going into these times that we living in now. Okay? Go ahead, though.
It says, thy city shall be broken down.
Right.
And all thine shall perish with the sword in the field. They that be in the mountains shall die of hunger, and eat their own flesh and drink their own blood.
Right. So you're gonna have certain people that's like in the countries, in the hillsides, in the rural areas, they're gonna commit cannibalism, man. Okay? They said they're gonna eat their own flesh, meaning their own relatives, man. And drink their own blood, meaning the people that's related to them, man. Okay, and these hillbilly ass, it's not far-fetched, these hillbilly ass crackers that be living out there, man.
Yep.
You know, and I work with one hillbilly ass cracker. This nigga adopted a little Jake baby. I said, goddamn. Well, he looked like a Jake baby. You know what I'm saying? I said, I would not want to be that baby, man. You know what I'm saying?
They probably adopted their meal, bro.
Yeah, you know. And first they gonna eat their dog. You know, then when they done ate all the dogs and all the cats and all the farm animals, they gonna start looking at each other, man. They said the love of many is gonna wax very cold.
Yeah.
You got something?
Hold on, let me finish.
Oh, my bad.
It says, and drink their own blood for very hunger of bread and thirst of water.
Woo! For very hunger, bread, and thirst for water, man. You know? You could jump up in that verse 14.
2nd 15 and verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein.
Keep going.
For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands.
Just like you see in Chicago, man. You know, you got the martial law. Basically, martial law is being established, man.
Yeah.
You know, people don't want to use that word martial law, but that's what it is, man. You know, they send in the National Guard there. You see the police on one side, protesters on the other side. You know, people's the police down there with machine guns on every block. You know.
Yeah, because you got something called sanctuary cities, where it's like a form of protection.
Not no more.
Yeah, it's a form of protection from the federal government, which, as you see, Trump doing away with that through he's not calling it martial law, but that's what it is.
He's going to
do the Insurrection Act.
Yeah. That's
so when you go into that, you do it on ChatGPT. It will say it's not exactly martial law, but it's the beginning stages of it. So it's fucking martial law, right?
Gradualism. That's how this
man.
That's how this devil works.
Yeah.
Step-by-step process. That's why we read the domino effect. Because Esau understand how the human mind works. He understand that one thing leads to another. He's a master manipulator, man. On the left-hand side. Okay? There's more?
Yeah, it says verse 215 and 15. Well, 16. It says, for there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power.
So they're not going to regard their kings and their princes. You got that article?
Yep.
It said they shall not regard their kings and their princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power, man. Now, we know that's going into lawlessness, but then you got like preludes, I guess, of lawlessness, which is taking place right now. What you got?
Nationwide, no kings protest target Trump as crowd rallies in cities from coast to coast. Anti-Trump No King protests held in cities across the country. Nearly 2,000 No King protests have been planned across the U.S. on Saturday.
So yeah, 2,000 protests on
7 million people in it.
7 million people protesting this No Kings protest, which is pretty much a protest against the Donald Trump administration. Okay, so this is like Civil War vibes, you know what I'm saying, for lack of better words, man. Civil War energy, man.
Yeah.
Okay, they said they shall not regard their kings nor princes, man. And then it says eventually the course of their action is gonna stand in their power. Donald Trump ain't gonna have enough National Guard troops, no, not enough ICE agents to send in. You know, on top of the things that he is doing is contradicting the very principles that America was founded upon. So certain people that's on his side now, they could switch. They could go rogue. They could go AWOL. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not with this. I'm an American. I'm this and that. This is not what America was founded upon. All that BS, man. Not knowing that America was never for the people in the first place, man. Okay? What you got it, though?
It say, it go into different ones. Say how tear gas was deployed in Portland, 15 arrested in Illinois.
So that's it. That's all we need. You know, 2nd Ezra 15th chapter. It said eventually there ain't gonna be no 911. Okay, and that's when there's no 911, people's attitudes is gonna change, man. The tough guys ain't gonna be tough. The women ain't gonna, be disrespectful and proud. You know, they ain't gonna be walking around here in little tiny clothes. A lot of shit's gonna change just based upon no more 911, no more police and fire, man. Okay,
That sense of security.
Come.
You know what I mean? I had a quick precept. This is 2nd Ezra, chapter 6, and verse 22. It says, "And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, and the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty." And that's what we're going into about these, the famine. The storehouses are going to be found empty, and what's going to happen is, the prices are going to get so high that people ain't gonna be able to afford this shit no more, man.
Right.
You know, and that's where people are gonna be resorting to going into other people's houses, man, for small, minimal, trivial things, man. It says, verse 23. It says, "And the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man hear shall be suddenly afraid." And see, the trumpet is being blown right now. All right, this is the message that's being sent out. And Jake should be worried right now, man. You know, because when these prophets were getting these visions, even Ezra was afraid when he was getting these visions. You know,
Right.
You want to say something?
Nah, go ahead.
Verse 24 it says, "At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear of those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountains shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run."
Right. So it say, friends shall fight one against another like enemies.
Shalom.
You gotta really meditate on that. What would make a friend fight against a friend like he was an enemy? It didn't say they gonna have a fight, like a disagreement fight. It said they gonna fight like they're enemies, like they never knew each other. Like, nigga, I don't know you from a can of paint, nigga. You know what I'm saying? They gonna fight to the death, man. That's what that means. They gonna fight over the last piece of chicken, or the last loaf of bread, or the last pull up. Or the last baby wipe.
I was gonna say that's so cool because it's gonna be in that time period. It's gonna be a fight to the death over everything.
Yep.
And then your family gonna watch, and his family gonna watch, and when you get your head bashed in, your family know we just died. Who gonna defend us now?
Right.
And you gonna go back, bring up whatever you fought for, and guess what? You gotta get right back out there, fight to the death. If you're not protected, fight to the death every day until you just lose.
Yeah. That's why they call it survival of the fittest. And they showed you that in the movie, The Book of Eli.
Man, all them type of movies, man.
Yeah, but it was a particular scene in The Book of Eli. The woman, she asked him, what was the old world like? And he said, people had more than they needed. We took everything that we had for granted. You know what I'm saying? He was like, people throw away stuff that we kill for now. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it's gonna be. You know, you gonna value toilet paper. You gonna know the real value of lithium batteries. you know what I'm saying, these type of things, the doomsday preppers be stocking up on, man. People gonna be dying over these items, man. And that Gucci belt, that shit's not gonna do you no good, my nigga.
Nope.
Them Prada shoes, that shit is not gonna do you no good. You know
Your
what I'm
box
saying?
Chevy with 28-inch,
Right, the 28
$15,000 rims on
right.
it.
Aluminum at that, aluminum rims.
Not good.
Damn, you could at least got some, you know, it ain't even made out of no real good metal, man. It's just there, you know? So people are invested in vain things.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I think that's in Lamentations 4. They say, let me get, matter of fact, we'll just go there. We ain't gotta get that.
It's 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 17.
We'll get a few more.
A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able.
Yeah, that's martial law, man. So let you niggas get out of line. See, you see the videos coming out of Chicago, those is like chaotic scenes.
Man.
You know, and all it takes is for one of them ICE agents to get shot or ran over by a vehicle, and full-blown martial law will be instituted, man. You know? And we hoping that something like that happens. Now, we don't promote violence, but we hoping that the prophecies is continue to move forward, man. And we know that in order for that to happen, there has to be escalations of war, if you will, okay? So that when that martial law is instituted, you're not going to be able to go where you want to go. You're not going to be able to roam freely. You're going to have zones and, what do you call it?
Stop and chase, go.
Yeah, the water. Checkpoints.
The dude that
Checkpoints.
There was a dude in Memphis, he said how he was like, he basically trying to blame all the YN, ski mask wearing type individuals. He said, y'all put up now, but we the regular citizens, we got to actually deal with this.
Yeah,
You know,
saw that.
Yeah, you on your way to work early in the morning, and now we got to stop and goes, and you like, man, I'm a regular citizen.
Mm-hmm.
Now you done lost your job because you done got a date and checked your car out a warrant for 30 minutes. But it's like, those are times we get ready to come into. It's going to be a lot of, it ain't going to be on the news no more. It's going to be a regular part of your life. Stop and goes, stop and checks.
Yep. Just like in C19. You know, they was in Australia, they had checkpoints and you had to let them check your temperature and all this, you know, scan your forehead and all this, man. You know? But you can read that real quick and then we're going to go back here.
Time.
And then you got a piece up?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is Lamentations 4 and verse 17. It says, as for us, our eyes have as yet failed for our vain help. In our watching, we have watched for a nation that cannot save us.
Right. Because our people, man, especially you Northern Kingdom, you the same people that voted for Trump. Hispanics for Trump, this and that. You know, our people, y'all believe in the American dream, but America don't believe in you, man.
Mm-hmm.
They never mess with our people, man. But our people continuously put their hope and they trust in vain things, man. Beginning with this man's system, man. And, you know, and they looking for the same people, the same system that's oppressing them, deporting them, engineering a famine against them, cutting off their benefits that they made them dependent on in the first place. That's the same system that you calling on for change and for reform and to make things go back to normal. You just don't get it, man. You just the blind being led by the blind, man.
Yeah.
You know? Go ahead, though.
Because
he said they watch for a nation that cannot save them.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you still going to these people in this man's system to save you. You still talking about voting. You still talking about putting the right people in the right positions, you know, and doing all this dumb shit, using the dollar, using the American dollar, and all this other dumb shit, man. Here it is, we telling you, no, the way is not. That's not the way. The way is over here, and you still running into the burning house. We can't. What can we do? We can't help you.
Verse 18, it says, they hunt our steps.
Now they gonna hunt your steps.
Mm-hmm.
Now ICE is coming for your ass. You know, they want to know your documentation and all that. You better keep your brothers better keep their documentation on them. If you're a U.S. citizen, keep all your shit, your birth certificate, your driver's license, keep all that, your permanent residence card, whatever you got, keep it in on your person, man. Okay? And that still might not work because Esau he make rules as he go along.
Yep. Mm-hmm. That Jake Chicago, there's a few of them stories coming out how they had that information on them, and it was just.
You told him to shut up.
Yup.
You told him to shut up. You know, and he was like, but I'm a U.S. citizen. This and that. You got the wrong guy. He told him to shut up. He said, I did as I was told. That's why he got out, because he did as he was told. The Lord said, agree with thy adversary quickly, man. You know, So we gotta use wisdom in these days because it could come knocking at our doorstep.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
it will.
Yeah, we all right. We know eventually it will for certain brothers, man. But you gotta go.
Yeah, the day when the troops come in as a flood, you trying to be an activist, you don't get your head bust open.
Right.
Or I know my rights. You need a warrant. They gonna motherfucking. You gonna be looking at the back of your brain like, damn, I can see my thoughts.
Hey, because these troops ain't gonna be no American troops, man. They're gonna be these United Nations troops that are gonna speak all type of different languages.
Right.
You know, they ain't gonna have no empathy for the American people. They got a job to do, and they gonna do that job with no emotion attached to it, man.
Even these ICE agents, they like malicious.
Yeah, yep.
You know, because they don't have no. You could literally, if you wanted to be an ICE agent, you could just apply and be an ICE. Like it's just anybody. You just apply and you might get the job. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like you gotta have some type of necessary training or, you know, like you said, former military. A lot of them are former military, but some of them are not. Some of them just motherfuckers who wanted to get that $50,000 signing bonus.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't care what they got to do to get it.
Hell no.
And then some people are posing to be ICE agents and just abducting people.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? They put on the bulletproof vest, the green vest, and the shades and the shiesties.
Mm-hmm.
And they so you niggas are wearing shiesties, but now anybody's wearing shiesties. You know what I'm saying? And they just abducting people. A lot of them just taking women too.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
It's just a confusion in Babylon, man.
Right.
You know, you don't know who the fuck.
You don't know who it is.
Exactly. Then you try to put up a fight. You don't know if it's an ICE agent or not. Next thing you know, you get your head busted in. Then you thrown in jail and all type of shit, man.
Next thing you know, you chained up in a basement with a bunch of other Northern Kingdom women. You know what I'm saying? Looking through, man. Mm-hmm. And I guarantee that's happening somewhere in America, man.
Bruh, definitely. It is. It ain't no. You're 100% accurate because. What you gotta realize, and I don't know why I forgot who said it. I think it was the elder brother of Yashawamba. It was right around when ICE started getting all this money. He said, quote me if I'm wrong. He said, "Now imagine if they can just out of nowhere find all these so-called illegals who've been in the country. They know where to spot them right on the money." But they can't take that same money and find over 300,000 missing children every year.
Right.
Think about that. That is a number that doesn't even get spoken of. Mm-hmm. And if they clock at 300,000, you know it's way more than that because Esau he know how to fudge the numbers. Yeah. You see,
Esau need them children for his sacrifice.
Yeah. So
how can you give a number of missing kids that easily? It's like you know exactly because.
But can't do nothing about it. That's the killing part. But you can find Jose real quick. You can find Maria real quick.
Home Depot.
Yeah, while they working, you know what I'm saying? Just roll up. But you can't find the missing children.
Well, they using facial recognition too.
Yeah.
Because when they stop the Northern Kingdom people, they take a picture of them with this. I guess it's a special phone. And they run them through a facial recognition database, and they'll tell them like whether or not they're a citizen or whether or not who they looking for, you know. But if you had not Fidel Castro, what's the nigga Ariel Castro? You know, he was a serial killer. Well, I don't know if he killed people, but the nigga, he was the nigga that was kidnapped right here on the west side, on West 25th. Yeah. He had them girls, Amanda Berry, and he had them chained up in his house for
10 years.
10 years, man. So if this nigga ain't got no big guns, none of that, he ain't, you know what I'm saying? He not ICE, but he had 2 bitches chained up, 3 bitches chained up in his house for 10 years, getting them pregnant, bringing forth children to him and all that, and nobody knew until. The one nigga, what that nigga,
little white girl,
what that nigga say
for me for help? I knew something was wrong.
No, he had a famous saying. He had a famous quote that he said though. What did he say? Damn man, I can't remember that shit, man. But that shit was funny as hell. That nigga was a character, man. But he the one who saved their lives and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Got it.
But you read that 18 again, and then we'll get some closing precepts.
Got it. Lamentations 4 verse 18. It says they hunt our steps, that we cannot go in our streets.
Oh, man, is that not speaking right now? Like, bro, real talk, bro. They was saying that a lot of people was not showing up to work. The construction sites was empty. Home Depot was empty. You know what I'm saying? The different people who do these different landscaping companies, they ain't show up to work. You know, so they can't go in the streets. Because they too worried about being stopped. If you look a certain way, if you speak a certain way, they give you the speaking test. They'll ask you where you headed. If you got a thick accent, they'll just assume you're not supposed to be here. They'll just take you in.
Mm-hmm.
You know? If your English is not good, you got that broken English, even if you got a Jamaican accent, a patois accent, they taking you in, man.
Mm-hmm.
You got it.
Got it. You good. Lamentations 4 and verse 18, it says, they hunt our steps that we cannot go in our streets. Our end is near. Our days are fulfilled. Our end is come.
Yeah, the end of the American Israelite is over, man. You know, the Babylonian way and following the ways of America, that's over with, man. You know, the Lord said he will make a full end of all nations, but he will not make a full end of thee, O Israel. So if you're not keeping the ways of the Israelites, your end is near, man. You know, it's not looking good for you. You got to repent in the name of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua and come back to your ways as an Israelite, man. That's the only way out. And you got to be of the elect to even have the spirit to do that and be accepted. You got one?
This is 2nd Ezra chapter 8 and verse 50. For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. And that pride is you know, literally not taking heed to the men of the Lord, telling you the time is now to repent. Okay, the so-called black woman wanting to be the independent woman. All right, you're voting. Your mindset is on establishing Babylon to go on, which is a prideful thing when we're telling you this place is about to be destroyed, but you ignore it. And now misery is coming. And all these scriptures that came out today, it has no good news is coming to America. Not at all. Yeah. Doom and gloom, like the brother just said before we hit the go on the camera. Yeah. That's all that's coming is doom and gloom. And the Apostle's Heart said something. He said it's going to get worse before it get worser. Mm-hmm. All right, that's what's coming here. Okay.
Yep. It says in Ezekiel, lamentation, mourning, and woe.
Yep.
In the book of Ezekiel, you know, he said that's what the scriptures was filled with: lamentation, mourning, and woe, man. But that's what's coming here in the end. You know, he started off with the end of all things being at hand. Mm-hmm. You got one of them?
Got it. This is Exodus chapter 23 and verse 8. It says, "And thou shalt take no gift, for the gift blindeth the wise and perverteth the words of the righteous." You know, and this is what we're going into. You know what I'm saying? The many gifts that Esau gives, he thinks he's giving out freely because he loves you, right? He likes you, he wants to be your friend and your buddy. But really, these things are just to kind of pacify you in order to get you to lower your guard, man. Mm-hmm. Because ultimately, what he wants to do, he wants you to lower your guard low enough for him to land that haymaker on you, man. Which is going to eventually be that mark of the beast, which is the RFID micro C hip.
Yep.
All right. So this is everything. Like the brother said at the beginning of the lecture, all these things are leading to the MOTB. All right. You got that.
Yeah. You know, so that's the end goal of Esau evil. Go ahead.
This is just touching back upon what you were mentioning about the Northern Kingdom, just relying on this system and the American dream. Mm-hmm. This is Isaiah chapter 30 and verse. I'll just start my points at 2, but I'll start at 1. It says, "Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord Yahweh, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin." Verse 2 says, "That walk to go down into Egypt, and have not asked at my mouth, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt."
Yeah, so you trusting in the shadow of Egypt, man. You trusting in the resources of Egypt, and the protection of Egypt, but that's not set up for you. That's set up for Egypt. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And the Lord said he was going to set the Egyptian against the Egyptian. Okay? So the people that trust in Egypt, they're going to be fighting for whatever Egypt got. You know, because the resources are going to be limited. The Lord spoke about famines, pestilences, okay, and these different things that he said. He even spoke about division. He said he's just going to bring a spirit of division. And you see it in the midst of this place, from the politics to the beliefs within a household. People are divided, man. From the gender wars, everything is divided, and it's all going to come to a head. You know what I'm saying? it's gonna come like those, you know, what do you call those Rams? When they take a step back and they you know what I'm saying? And right now it's like they reached the far back point and now everything's about to come straight to blows, man. You know? And you gotta be of the elect to survive, man. That's our message, man. That's it, man. You know, and you just gotta pray to Yahweh Shah that you one of those spirits that was slated for salvation and not for destruction. Was it more on that or that's it?
Just one more verse.
Yep.
Says verse 3 says, therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion.
Yeah, so that now Jacob's confused. I'm an American citizen. I don't know how is he able to do this? This is against the Constitution and this and that. Yeah, well, you shouldn't have trusted in them from the first place, man. Look at history, man. He been breaking his own rules for you niggas and Latinos since the beginning, man.
Hey, never trust thine enemy.
Never trust thy enemy, man. You still 3/5 of a man. Though, did you forget that? Did you forget that? We was just reading different laws during slavery, man. The laws was always being written to go against you. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, they was specifically writing laws to say, these niggas, they can't do this, they can't do that, but a white man can do this and can do that. Or if a nigga want to do this, he has to be under the supervision of a white man. Virginia law, 17, blah, blah, blah. They was always writing laws like that, man. You know? And if you got one up, they'll change the laws to make it back in their favor.
Yeah. It's called an amendment.
Con.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Finish there. 2 Ezra 15. Read 18 and 19, then we done.
2 Ezra chapter 15, verse 18, for because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid.
Yeah, especially the men, namely the men that don't know what's going on. You know, the fear of what you don't know is going to be very great coming soon, man. Because what's about to take place on the earth has never been seen before. Okay, so if you don't know the hope that's on the other side of that, you're going to lose your mental. You know, that's why it says in Jeremiah 30, I heard a voice of fear and of trembling. See, now do a man doth travail with trial. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail. That's a panic attack, an anxiety attack. You know, the anguish of seeing a loved one unalive, man. That's what bring a man to that type of anguish. You know, that where they holding their stomach crying, you know, like a baby, sobbing. You know, you got the ugly cry with the drool.
Yeah.
You don't care who see. That's real pain, man. You know, and that's what's coming. That's what Jeremiah saw. And he said, it is even the time of Jacob's trouble that will make men do this. Keep going.
Verse 19, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because the lack of bread and for great tribulation.
So that's it, man. The Lord, I mean, a man is not going to have any pity on the person that lives next to him, the person that's of the same nation as him, you know, because both of those could be your neighbor. There's not going to be no pity on the next man, you know what I'm saying, the person next to you. You in the supermarket, you know, like, what's that movie?
War of the Worlds.
Yeah, that's a good one. When they was in the supermarket, kind of. When they was in the supermarket, and the one dude, he had a gun. I think he was robbing the place, and then the police officer came in there, and he thought the police was about to tell him, "Freeze, this and that."
You come here and get some baby food.
Bro, the police officer looked at him and was like, "Nigga, I don't give a fuck, nigga. I'm stealing shit too. I'm losing too."
And one thing I noticed is, in the midst of all that, they was about to try to rape his woman.
Right.
Right in the midst of all that violence and all that tyranny, chaos. So you imagine what we're about to be dealing with on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, you got a lot of sexual deviance in this society, man.
Yep.
This society is
perverse.
Perverse, but it's overly over-sexualized. I think that's the word.
Hypersexualized.
Hyper-sexualized society where everything is women in little clothing and twerking and this and that and bitches OnlyFans this, and you pay $3, you can see a bitch butt ass naked. You know what I'm saying? Going crazy on herself. Like this society created a lot of sexual deviance, and the only thing that's holding them back is 911. What you gonna do when ain't no 911, man? You know, you gonna have to have your how about Shimon shot, because them people, they not gonna have an old type of restraint to you know what I'm saying?
Right.
They just gonna feel like, oh man, I can get my rocks on.
Yeah.
You know?
Do my
I
pleasure.
can actually get some box now. Because they be weirdos. They can't get women the normal way. You know what I'm saying? So that's what they do. They don't care who watching. You know, you see crackheads, they'll get it in on a fucking train, man. They don't care who watching. That shit is madness.
And the scripture says in Isaiah 13th chapter about wives shall be ravished.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So hey, this is you know, these are the type of things that's going to be happening, man. When your security blanket is removed, you know.
Yep. So hey, you've been warned, and we're gonna keep warning. You know, until the Lord take us off the streets and off the internet.
Right.
And we're gonna give all praise, honor, and glory to
Yahweh,
Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakadash.
giving us spirit to do this lesson. Double honor to the apostle of the great millstone. Call me Yasharala.
Shalom.
Shalom.